I started going down this rabbit hole of thinking about what is money when I realized that I was in essence going to lose my company, right? And destroy the livelihoods of all my employees and, waste 30 years of my life. And so when I started thinking about it, and, it's helpful when Jerome Powell says, when I'm thinking about raising interest rates, your strategy of investing in bonds is broken. When I started thinking about it, what I realized is money is energy. Money is economic energy, social-political energy. Currency is a medium through which the energy moves. If you wish to hold energy and transport energy, you need a technology. We're not using gold anymore. When we use gold, as I pointed out, it's expensive and it's cumbersome. Currencies don't work. The US dollar is the strongest currency in the world, but it's losing 15 to 20% of its value a year. The peso is losing 40 to 50% of its value a year. The bolivar is losing 100%, 98% of its value a year. So once you start thinking about it that way, you start thinking, well, what's a better way to store economic energy? So what is money? Well, money in the last 30 years became the S&P index. You buy a diversified portfolio of companies, of stocks, which is a little bit better because maybe you're getting bled 2% a year by the management team, but the company's making money, and so maybe you can hold value. It turns out that the money's losing about 10% of its value a year, and the S&P index is going up about 10% a year. And you look at that for 100 years, and there's a very interesting correlation there. Wouldn't it be great if I could buy a virtual building in Argentina using borrowed pesos? And then what if I could spirit the building out of the country and rent it to people in London or New York City? That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is digital property that you can teleport anywhere in space instantly. And it's also perfected property with the lowest maintenance cost. You don't have the property tax you have on a building. You don't have to repaint the thing every 10 years. You don't have to worry about leaks in the roof. So if I could buy $1 billion worth of property and it was in cyberspace, and if you couldn't make any more of it, if I capped it at 21 million city blocks in cyberspace, and if I could hold it for 1,000 years, I might have a better idea than buying a city block in Manhattan or a building in London or even a company. And it's a lot better idea than buying 30,000 pounds worth of gold. Why? Because real estate developers are going to create more buildings, gold miners are going to create more gold, mayors are going to pass a property tax, and they're going to put some kind of enjoinder or some kind of restriction on your rents. And none of that stuff's happening in cyberspace. So the whole idea of Bitcoin is it's perfected, engineered gold, crypto gold, with none of the defects of gold. You can't mine any more of it. It's weightless. I can move it at the speed of light. It never decomposes. I can break it into 1,000 pieces in a second, send it to 1,000 places, and recompose it. All using a computer program, and I can take personal custody of it. Maybe the most powerful two ideas are, I can hold possession of $1 billion of Bitcoin in my head, just holding a password or a set of private keys. That's a pretty big idea. Maybe the first time in the history of the human race that you can actually take possession of your wealth and take it to the grave with you, or take it anywhere else on earth with you. And even if I put a gun to your head, the most I can do is kill you. I can't take it. Mm-hmm. And this is a very interesting idea. Every other form of property in the history of the human race, I pull the gun, I get it all. Right? My incentive is to violence. With Bitcoin, I pull the trigger, I get none of it. So the incentive is the negotiation. I'd rather have half than zero. Right? And it's a very interesting idea, big idea. The second big idea is it's a virus. It's a cyber virus. It's a chain reaction in cyberspace, or it's a life form in cyberspace. Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace run by incorruptible software, and the software itself is going to basically protect your money. The problem with software is I don't trust the computer it's on. If it's on a single phone, I can seize the phone and reprogram the software. So if I came up with a bank that was run by software, how do I prevent any human being from corrupting it? The thing that makes it incorruptible is I release thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of identical copies in cyberspace, and it's self-replicating, and all of the copies keep track of each other, and when one of them is corrupted, it gets kicked off the network. So you could think of it as I released a life form, plankton, or a virus, and I let it go, or a swarm. Now, you're a part of the swarm. I shoot you, it doesn't help. You have the genetic code. I shoot you, it doesn't help. I obliterate all of, the algae in the Atlantic. Won't stop it. I eliminate all of the bacteria in your body. Won't stop it, right? It's a virus. It's going to keep spreading. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. So what you've got is truth and integrity released as a cyber virus. And you can, if you choose to join that network, you avail yourself of all of the benefits of that network. Bitcoin is a nuclear hardened protocol. It's pretty much the most robust, resilient thing the human race has yet to invent. For example, it's running on tens of thousands of nodes. You can't even identify the nodes, and there's an identical copy of the Bitcoin ledger on every one of them. So if all of the electricity got shut off everywhere on Earth, and every computer failed everywhere on Earth for 10 years, the protocol just goes dormant for 10 years. And as soon as one person turns one node back on, the entire protocol comes back to life again. There's nothing like that, right? All your money in a bank, in Bank of America, could be wiped out with, a keystroke. You go and you wipe out a few servers. Your building can be wiped out with a bomb, right? Lots of things can be wiped out, but Bitcoin is the most resilient thing in cyberspace because it is so incredibly decentralized. If you took an entire country offline, that's irrelevant. In fact, we just saw last year during the China crackdown that China banned Bitcoin mining. They took 40 to 50% of the entire network offline. Half of Bitcoin mining was taking place in China. The network didn't miss a beat, not even for a minute. It just kept running, completely secure. You could literally wipe out 99% of all the nodes. You wouldn't notice in the network. There's nothing else that you rely upon. I don't really worry about Bitcoin's fragility to any cyber attack. In fact, the whole point of proof of work was to create something which is impervious to a denial of service attack. And it turns out that if you dig a bit deeper, what you realize is that not only is Bitcoin impervious to cyber attacks, it's also the solution to cyber attacks. Because if you want to eliminate denial of service attacks, which are the most common brute force attacks, or you want to eliminate phishing and scam and spam attacks and other sorts of imposterous and malicious behavior in cyberspace, the way to do it is to integrate a layer of monetary energy, which is what Bitcoin is, into the internet. You need to wrap the avatars. You need to wrap the people, the websites, and the services that we have in cyberspace with a layer of digital energy. If you did that, you could prevent all the denial of service attacks. You could shut them down. Bitcoin it's digital energy, right? This is a big idea. We've encrypted money, right? It's such a huge idea. Since most people don't know what money is, it doesn't occur to them that money is energy. Since they don't understand what money is, they don't really understand that money's defective. that the energy is bleeding out of their currency. And by the way, if money is energy, the energy finds its way into a currency. It also finds its way into stocks and into bonds and into property. They're all bleeding energy over time or over space. And if you're an engineer and you understand that a well-engineered system is a system that allows you to move energy through time and space with no power loss, no impedance, superconducting, which is that we call that like it's an adiabatic system or a thermodynamically sound system. If you're an engineer, you totally get it when you're designing a pneumatic system, electrical system, even a heating system in a house or a swimming pool. If the water drained out of your swimming pool wouldn't work so well, right? If your bathtub, drained out, it doesn't work so well. So engineers understand this, but economists don't really think of money as energy.